Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers you, and welcome to another video. Right then, so obviously today is the 1st of May. Where's the time flying, ladies and gentlemen? Years speeding on past. And for many people who are across the country, it is the local elections time. Where I live in the Solihull area, we're out of sync, so I think ours are next May, so we've got no voting at all where I live. So while I see all the excitement about the local elections, we haven't got any, so I have no dog in this fight, so to speak. Now, of course, these are the people who are lucky enough to have one. There are others whose Conservative and Labour councillors have colluded together to stop it happening because of boundary and council changes, conveniently. So there are some people who've had their right to vote completely and utterly suppressed. Surprise, surprise. It is the mad world that we live in. Any case, so there's also, remember, the by-election in Runcorn where the Labour MP got sacked after beating the crap out of somebody who dared complain about something and got away with it because you can't possibly put socialist dictatorship member in prison because that's just not fair. So this is the big moment. Now, historically, attendances for local elections are very low, 30 to 40% turnouts if you're lucky. The good news is on this particular 1st of May, it is lovely out here in the UK. The sun's out, it's nice and warm, brilliant, fantastic day. Let's do that via the media. Is don't go out whatever you do today. It's far too hot. You're all going to boil to death and burn. Your feet will melt into the melting tarmac and climate change is going to kill us all, so don't go and vote. I'm actually surprised that hasn't actually been used, to be fair. Any excuse not to get you to vote today. Because unlike most local elections, where a lot of people just don't care because they're not really interested in their councillor and their councils, they couldn't give a shit really because all they see is the council taking lots of money and giving you nothing in return. Like, for instance, I'm currently sat in Asda car park in Chelmsley Wood, which is now North Solihull. Somehow, because Birmingham International Airport's in Solihull, and it was originally just called Elmden Airport. That was its thing. But it's become Birmingham International. Birmingham said, we want that and we'll give you Chelmsley Wood. And you can have that as Solihull. I think we got the shit end of the stick. But that's beside the point. So, here in Chelmsley Wood, I think it's Kingshurst, they've got a green council and a green MP, if I do remember quite rightly. I'm not sure. No, I don't know. No, they'll have that Meriden guy. Oh, yeah, just to let you know that we used to have an MP called Julian Knight who represented Solihull. He gave up, and then we got given the guy in Meriden, which is miles away from where I live. He's an Asian dude, never met him, never had the right to vote for him, but he's now my MP, so it is what it is. So, usually, a local election is the ability to vote for somebody who lives in your local area, who has a passion for where you live, your local little area, your little thing, which, of course, with the new changes to the councils, they want to get rid of that and have one big central control point, and you will report to them, and it'll be nowhere near where you live, and they will only care about themselves. So basically, it becomes a mini Houses of Parliament where a lot of people just line their own pockets and couldn't give a shit about you. But that's for another video. I think I've touched on it once before, but we'll go there again. So usually that's what you vote for. But increasingly, and I think this is more media generated than anything else, I'm not sure. Before that sort of, no, I mean, before the media really didn't give a shit. Your local media will give a shit, but the general media couldn't give a toss about local elections. But now, apparently it's an indicator. It really isn't, because traditionally people vote for not the party but the person and what they represent for your area. And the political party was just a thing that they were part of. It didn't have any bearing on the reason you voted for them. Now, of course, it is all about the fact that it's the party that you're voting for, not necessarily somebody who actually gives a shit about where you actually live. So this one, of course, is going to be a major one. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a massive one. And the reason it's going to be like this is because it is now being hyped up and portrayed as the first chance to show the Labour government how pissed off everybody is. Even though it's supposed to be about your local area where you actually live. But in any case, so that's what it's going to be. And it's now being hyped up as the protest vote. And it really isn't. They've changed local elections and morphed it into something that's what it isn't. Local elections, as I keep saying, and I'll say again, is about your local area, and it's not about what's going on in the big country. It's about potholes in your road and whether those graffiti artists can get caught and the crime in your area and things like that. But no, it's a big political thing, and it really isn't. It's not about parties, it's about people and areas, not political parties. But we've changed that. So this is the chance now for Reform to actually prove that all the bluster they have, that they're going to be the new government, they're going to do this is their first chance to show that that's what they're going to do. Now, if you vote Labour in these elections, now, before I go any further, these are going to be my opinions. No one has the right to tell you who to vote for. That's your personal choice, and it's up to you. But there is still no caveat for that leaving you exempt from having the piss ripped, because that's what's going to happen. You vote Labour, you're mental. You are mental. You're a member of the Left Waffer, and you need to go and get some serious mental health help, because you're not right. If you vote Conservative, again, how you must be one of these people who allow your husband or wife to have affairs and you forgive them because it's okay. They didn't really mean it that time. Liberal Democrats, if you vote Liberal Democrat, you're voting for somebody whose idea of fun is prancing around on a hobby horse and doing stupid stunts and trying to be down with the kids, and keeps telling you that he has a disabled son, so therefore that makes him somehow better than everybody else. Some people will say, no, that's right, yeah, but that's the image you get. Oh, well, it grounds me, makes me, whoa. It's not. They're raving lunatics. You vote for Greens. Now, you see, in Kingshurst, which I'm not far from, they voted Green, and I'll be honest, their councillors have done a good job for their area, because they voted not for the party, but for the people, and the people who cared about their area. See how it works? See, it's a running theme through this video. That's what it's supposed to be about. Not sticking it up to the man. Now, I have serious issues with Reform. And if there was a local election in my area, I wouldn't vote Reform to stick it to the man. I would still vote for the person, man or woman, two genders, remember, who would represent my area and it listens to, and has the same concerns I do. I've never in local elections cared about the party. I've cared about the person. But I also now understand that people see this as a protest vote. So, yay, Reform. I can understand, as I've said, why people will vote for Reform, but it's a desperation thing. And this will be, the media will spin that Reform wins as a protest vote and a sign of desperation. You can bookmark it and see if that's said, because it's going to be said somewhere along the line that that's what it's about. It's not about anything else. It won't be about the fact that people are sick to the back teeth. It'll be a protest vote. It'll be what it'll be. So if you go and vote reform, okay, that's fine. As I said, you're voting for who you want to vote for. My opinion is, I personally, and this is the last time I'm going to say it, I promise, because I've mentioned it a lot, is I'd be voting for the person who represents my community. And party is irrelevant, but it's up to you. So it'll be interesting to see. We'll do a video tomorrow, 2nd of May, see how the results are going. We can reflect on how things have panned out. Now, Labour are going to get a drubbing. But the interesting thing is to see where reform actually come. Because if reform aren't winning a lot of places and still losing to Labour or Conservative, I would be more worried about that than anything else. We all know everybody's pissed off with the Labour government, so it wouldn't be surprised. But I want to see how reform actually perform in this election and see if all that bluster and all that subscriber number in the corner of the press conferences actually translates into actual votes. It's going to be interesting. As I said, I haven't got a local election. I have no dog in this fight, so it's going to be interesting to be able to sit back and see how this goes. And I will give you my humble opinion on the results tomorrow. Any case, 2 videos coming up at the end of this. One will be the last one I uploaded. The other one will be the one that the gods of YouTube, its mighty algorithm that currently doesn't like me at all, will pick for you. Enjoy it. It could be anything. Who knows? If you like what I'm saying, you agree with what I'm doing, you just hit the subscribe button. You can like, you can share, you can even attempt to put a comment. Now, the comment section all of a sudden seems to be not too bad. I don't have many people moaning about comments not being accepted. They're building you back up to cut you down again, but it's so you can try. I mean, obviously an open insult or calling me this, that and the other, that just flies through. Never challenged. Because good on you, YouTube. Good on you. There are ways to support the channel. There's the Patreon link. There's Buy Me a Coffee. There's Join the Channel as a member. There's Patreon. There's even a merchandising shop, which I do for shits and giggles, really. I've actually sold 3 things. Go and I'll pop over and have a look. The links are all down below. Any case, enough of that. I'm done. So, until the next one.
It's an arrow at the bottom. Why would you do that?
It's a spider without the water spells. Down came the rain and washed the spider out.